guys and gals? Never here from Drake Wayne Gaming, a Sunday Mouse Word of the Gaming Drag. Today I'm coming back at you with a Let's Play episode of NeveN. So let's go ahead and jump right back in, shall we? Alarm chain, you were up, and let's go. I think we were on this one right here. Okay. If I have to admit I'm wrong, I don't intend to be the only one to do so. So be it. You're right. I shouldn't have acted like that, and I apologize for the way I presented things. I must also admit that I was under the influence of a fair amount of alcohol, which clouded my judgment. So even the nobility gets hammered at our little gatherings. I bear a brand of Akhet and Ellois, but that doesn't mean I'm cold-hearted. A brief smile stretches Astrid's lips, and I feel myself doing the same. Perhaps in different circumstances, she and I might have been able to get along. If I may ask, even if we were to accept this alliance, how do you intend to put it into practice? Oh, if the idea is to make it look like we're all getting along, it shouldn't be too complicated. Really? I'm curious to see what you could come up with. Well, as I was saying, it's quite simple. We're all bards, all we have to do is perform, the three of us. The silence that follows my brilliant idea isn't exactly the reaction I was expecting to get. I'm sure it would work, though. Everyone would know that there are no hard feelings between us. I understand the idea, Louis, but perhaps something a little more subtle? Maybe later, or if we really needed a big demonstration. I was thinking of something simpler to start with, like being seen together at celebrations and dinners. Now that you've been officially introduced to the world of the festival, no doubt the invitations will come. We'll just have to turn up at the same venues and look friendly. I'm sure that's within your capabilities. I'll have you know that I'm always friendly and that everyone likes my personality. There's a new silence, and I'm starting to think they're trying to irritate me. I think I'll spend some time teaching him court etiquette. It might come in handy. Thank you for that. You know I can hear you. Oh, absolutely. He's giving me an amused grin. You little... Oh, another tiny detail. This time it's about you, Akhet. Me? Yes, I have received intelligence that a new delegation from Akhet is heading for Frostfang. And, extraordinarily, this time a Withyr is coming to visit us. A Withyr? But they never travel outside the country except in times of war. That is my understanding indeed, but it seems that this is due to a particular interest on her part. She wants to find out about you. About Akhet in particular? What is her name? Akhet's voice is trembling, and when I turn to him, he looks frightened. What's the matter with him? Akhet, are you alright? The Withyr, what's her name? Akhet? I try to reach out, but he pushes my hand away, his gaze entirely focused on Astrid. She seems as confused as I am about what's going on and just replies, It's the Withyr Makira. Akhet suddenly turns pale. I never thought it was possible to see that under all his feathers, but it seems I was wrong. Akhet, talk to me, please. What's going on? Lady Astrid, please excuse me. I'm afraid I have to go. No worries. Without really waiting for an answer, Akhet gets up to leave the room. I look at him, bewildered. I'm not sure what all the commotion means, except that his past is catching up to him again. Sorry, Astrid, but I have to go and see if he's alright. I understand. And Ellois? What? Thank you for apologizing. Now, you should go and look after your companion. He seems like a nice person. I hope it's nothing serious. Yes, I hope so too. I'm leaving the room immediately to look for Akhet. Obviously, he didn't hear me in the corridor. That would have been too easy. Think, Ellois, where could he be? Where in the castle did your birdie hide? Oh, of course. As I expected, Akhet is sitting on a bench in the middle of King Lusk's garden. There's no one here at this hour, as the sun begins to set. He's holding his head between his talons, and seems to be mumbling something, probably in Akkadian, because I can't understand a thing. Hey! He raises his head, and it's obvious he's been crying, so I just sit down next to him. And for a moment there's nothing but silence between us. Despite my mad desire to ask him questions, I know I'd better give him time. Eventually he'll explain what's going on. Sorry. Why? I shouldn't have gone off like that and left you on your own. Hey, it's okay. I'm an adult. I can take care of myself. Besides, I'm not the one who needs help right now, so tell me, what's going on? It's the Withyr Makira. I know her. Is it Makira or is it Marika? You remember our talk about Sago and me, right? I told you that the daughter of the lord I was living with hated me. You mean... It's her. I thought that by coming here I could escape her, but she... He pauses, unable to finish his sentence. The situation is different now. You're no longer in her house. She's coming here to your home. To our home. You are the royal bard of Frostfang, and she's just a stranger. She can't do anything to you. And if she tries anything, I have a brand that allows me to freeze people, and I don't have the slightest problem using it on people like her. I gently grasp Akhet's talons, and he offers me a weak smile in return. Is she really that bad? It's complicated. You don't have to talk about it if you don't want to. It's not that, it's just, she was never the worst to me. Oh, she'd humiliate me first chance she got and treat me like I was nothing but a slave, but she never really did anything to me, not directly. The Wazir Zahir, her father, would never have allowed it, so as soon as I showed any form of affection, friendship, or sympathy towards a slave or a servant, they were punished instead. Sego was the only exception. He was the general's personal slave, so there wasn't much she could do. That's why she eventually found a way to get him to leave. But I don't know what she'd be able to do now. The last thing the Wazir Zahir said to me before he died was to run away, to come here. I shouldn't stay with her. I have to let him talk. I don't think Akhet needs an answer right now. He just needs to let it all out. Between his father and this woman, my impression of Akkadian nobility is not the most positive. Akhet is more and more of an exception to me. 1 second, y'all. It is water time. Alright, guys and gals, and we are back. Let's jump back into it, shall we? Okay. It's not fair that he should be punished because of it. I can't change what happened, and I'm truly, truly sorry. All I can do is assure you that, whatever happens now, I'll be with you. I suddenly feel a weight on my shoulder as Akhet rests his head on it. I was just hoping to leave all the trouble behind when I left. I know, but she's powerless against you, and this is the last time you'll ever have to see her. It's just one last ordeal to get through. I hug him close, resting my head against his. There's a moment of silence between us, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. I'm letting him know that I'm here and that he can count on me. That's all that's important right now. I'm not sure how long we're staying here, probably less than I think. Just long enough for the sun to finish setting, plunging the gardens into darkness. Thank you for being there for me. Always will be. I can offer you that in exchange for the best pillow in the world. A short laugh escapes from Akhet's beak. I suppose that is indeed a worthy exchange. Still, I'd like to think I'm offering you a bit more than a few feathers to rest your head on. Don't worry. There's only a tiny part of what you're giving me. I can't stop the rest from escaping my lips. Not to mention that I intend to find out one day if I can't do something more pleasant than sleep on these pretty feathers. As always, the blush quickly reaches Akhet's cheeks. I'm glad to see this sort of cheeky silliness continues to work. The next part, on the other hand, I didn't see coming. Who knows? You might be able to find out sooner than you think. Oh, really? I give Akhet a big grin and he blushes even more. Hush up! I just stick my tongue out at him in response. Glad he's feeling better. I much prefer to see him relaxed. So, we stay a while longer, enjoying the gardens as they gradually fade into obscurity. A few servants come to light lanterns discreetly placed along the paths, leaving, however, a good part of the vegetation in the penumbra. An atmosphere of calm and serenity settles in. King Lusk has really done a remarkable job with this garden. And yet when you look at him, you wouldn't think he's up to the task. Ellois, show some respect for royalty. Well, it's true. His outfit is, unique. His outfit is certainly something. We both laugh as my gaze roams the nocturnal garden again, ending on a lantern whose flame flickers gently, before extinguishing completely, plunging this corner into total darkness. Suddenly a shiver runs down my spine. There's something strange about it, as if the flame had been blown out instead of going out naturally. And suddenly I feel as if I'm being watched. Hey, Akhet, why don't we go inside? It's getting late. I'd just like to enjoy the gardens a bit. I don't. The atmosphere that I found serene just a few minutes ago suddenly seems very different. Heavy. Ominous. Threatening. I've got to pull myself together. This is ridiculous. It's just a lantern that's been blown out over a gust of wind. There's a creak in the direction of the extinguished lantern, but much closer. I'd really like to go. Well, to be quite honest, I'm getting a bit scared. Scared? Of what? I don't really know. It's like there's something moving around in the garden. Maybe it's just my prey instincts kicking in, but please? I suppose we can. A new creak, much closer. You heard that, didn't you? It's probably just an animal wandering around. We're inside the castle walls. I can't see what could be dangerous here. Akhet's never been good at hiding his emotion, and it's clear that right now, even he's a little agitated. But, if you're not at ease, we can go inside. It sounds like a great idea. I'm absolutely prepared to look ridiculous if it means we get out of here quicker. The more time goes by, the more the feeling of being watched intensifies. It would make sense that other nations had spies within the castle walls well before Eloise' powers awakened. They probably see an opportunity now. Plus, I'm dead certain I saw something move in the bushes, and it was fast. I grab Akhet's hand and pull him behind me, heading for the nearest building. Sure, I probably look stupid, but right now I don't care. There's something back there, and Briefly, there's something right next to me. 2 glowing spheres in the thicket. No, 2 eyes watching me, reflecting the moonlight. Akhet! I saw that! Don't stop! I didn't even realize I'd stopped moving. My instincts seemed to have taken over briefly, immobilizing me in place. I can't seem to get myself to move again. There's something about the situation that puts me in a state of total freak-out. I'm able to say what exactly. Something is tugging at my hand, and it takes me a moment to realize that it's Akhet. Fortunately, it makes me conscious again, so we bolt in the direction of the nearest building, an entrance usually used only by servants. The door is almost within reach, and I feel a breath on the back of my neck. The sensation of the 2 praying eyes staring at me is stronger than ever. No, they're not staring at me. They're hunting me. Every movement suddenly feels too slow, every step's too spaced. I feel panic coursing through my veins, screaming at me to run, but my legs refuse to obey. And then I feel the door handle under my hand, so I push Akhet inside before following him, closing the door behind me and pressing myself against it to block it. At any moment I expect something to try to force it open. I expect to feel it trying to force its way in here, but nothing. No one is trying to break in. Nothing comes knocking on the door. I turn to Akhet, leaning just as I am against the door, panting slightly. After a brief moment of silence, he finally whispers a few words. What was that? What just happened? Honestly, probably nothing. Some kind of animal came past, and because of the dark, we got a bit of a fright. That's it. That's it? That's it. Another moment of silence, and then something rubs briefly against the door. I tense up again, and I can see Akhet doing the same until... Meow! The falcon and I look at each other, eye to eye. Akhet, did we just run away from the threat of a cat? I think we did. By NeveN, I really need some sleep. After a brief moment, a snort of laughter can be heard from Akhet's side, and this is quickly followed by his resounding hilarity. Hey! Sorry, it's just that you look so terrified, and it was just a cat. You shouldn't make fun of your partner like that. I push him away, which makes him burst out laughing again, and I end up joining him, the absurdity of the situation finally hitting me. The royal bard of Frostfang, NeveN's avatar, terrified by a kitchen cat in a bit of darkness. And all this fuss with the avatars has just got me on edge. And this moment of laughter with Akhet allows me to let it all go. It's probably going to provide a few rumors for the castle in the process. I'm pretty sure I saw a few servants pass by, curious to see what all the commotion is about. Never mind. If my shared burst of laughter with the falcon in the middle of the corridor is the only strange rumor on my account, then I'm not doing too badly. He still needs to be really fucking careful. I end up resting my head on the falcon's shoulder, gasping as I try to catch my breath. By the gods, I needed that. Me too, I think. He smiles at me before rubbing his beak against my muzzle, kissing me tenderly as only we know how. Eventually we get to our feet, climbing back up to our rooms in each other's arms, a burst of laughter coming back at us from time to time. Finally we arrive at the door of our quarters, and I ask my companion what is starting to be now a customary question. Are you sleeping with me tonight? Well, that's an unusual response, to say the least. I take a quick look at Akhet's expression, but he seems mostly pensive. What's going on in that pretty head of yours, Birdie? In my room? Communicative, I see. As you wish. I grab his wrist and pull him inside with me, closing the door behind us before throwing myself on the bed. You know, I was thinking about something. Really? I never would have guessed. Are you making fun of me? I wouldn't dare. I love you too much for that. He gives me a brief, suspicious look as I put on my most innocent expression. And as always, it works. I'm incredibly good at looking perfectly guileless when I feel like it. Anyway, it's just that I've been thinking about what I said to you earlier. Alright, y'all, I'm actually gonna pause it right there. Thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. I love you all, and I shall see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!